Hello and welcome to Tabletop Oddity. My name is Jay, and today I'm a little bit surprised because FFG have blessed us with a rules update for Star Wars Legion. I didn't expect this right now. I thought we'd maybe get this in a couple of weeks or whatever, but we've definitely got some stuff in here which almost certainly relates to C3PO, R2-D2, Dooku, Rex. And there's some really interesting stuff here. It sort of gives us an indication of the play style of R2-D2 and C3PO, for example. Dooku's got a really powerful ability. I think one might be tailored for Rex, so it might be a bit of a longer video because I'm just going to go through and we're going to look at the important rules as we go. There's also, and I think we'll do this first, there's a C3PO card that appears to have been, I'd say it's leaked. That's not necessarily the word. It is revealed. I'm just getting it up on the screen, but I'll put it up on the screen so you can see. This is Luke's. You might recognize Luke, but they've got this counterpart section here, counterpart card, so we can basically look at C3PO's card. So you might notice here the counterpart bit is R2-D2. While building an army, this mini must be added to an R2-D2 unit. So they come together. You're not going to get around that. They must come together. And obviously we're going to get them for both the Rebels and the Republic. So just keep in mind, we're going to go through these: calculate odds and distract and counterpart. So we might as well have a quick look. Calculate odds: you choose a friendly trooper unit at range 1 and in line of sight. It gains 1 aim, 1 dodge and 1 suppression token. Now quick little note there that is not an aim action, so you can still then take an aim. Distract is a free card action, just keep this in mind. Choose a enemy trooper unit at range 1 to 2 and in line of sight until the end of the round. You lose Inconspicuous, which we'll get onto in a minute, and when that unit performs an attack, it must attack you if able. So it's a little bit like Han's Reckless Diversion. And yeah, 15 points, I'm pointing to the screen here, 15 points, 2 wounds. It doesn't show us any like courage or anything like that. Maybe they're immune, or maybe they don't have some, like the droids. And clumsy kick. So as the weapon was 1 white defense dice, 1 white attack dice. So yeah, like that's interesting. So that already very quickly knocks off what some of those abilities do. The distract ability and the calculate odds, quite cool. You get the calculate odds is interesting because you basically get an aim and a dodge, but you gain a suppression. So it's like not great all the time. And the other one there that was mentioned, and I said you're gonna have to bear with me. I can't even when I do find the links, I can't click them in this version of whatever I'm using. So we'll find this quickly. Inconspicuous here. Inconspicuous is basically you can't be attacked, essentially. Some units appear inconsequential to the battle that are often ignored by enemy forces. While a unit with the Inconspicuous keyword has at least 1 suppression token, when an enemy unit performs an attack, it must target a different unit or another unit if able. So yeah, that's interesting. You could melee it still, because if you get into melee and there's no other unit you can melee, you would be able to shoot it. But if they've got a suppression token, you can't shoot them if you can shoot something else. Obviously, if you can make it so your range only those are in range, you could obviously shoot them. So that's interesting. Now, why might that combo with? Well, it looks like I've gone off there. It looks like that. Where am I looking here? It is it's secret mission is what I'm looking for. Secret mission. There we go. So secret mission obviously looks like it would be on R2-D2. Makes sense. All of this is like themed if you know Star Wars, which I don't, but you know I'm reliably informed that it's Star Wars related. So secret mission is interesting. So some units have a hidden directive or a dire goal. By the way, I honestly thought this was going to be, you know, for tournaments, like a secret mission where you would get extra objectives. When I saw it, I was so excited, but it does look like it is actually just for R2-D2. Once per game, as a free card action, a unit with the secret mission keyword can place 1 victory token on their card if they are within an enemy deployment zone. So if you get to an enemy deployment zone, you can pop a token on yourself and you keep that token. Looks like R2-D2 would have that. That makes sense because it's not on C3PO and it blends better, it fits better. You can, if you have that token and somebody with the bounty kills you, they actually get that token, which is interesting. Interesting rule. So it looks like we're getting a playstyle there. R2-D2 and C3PO, they're going to be inconsequential, but they're going to have distract, so you're going to be able to like tactically use them at points. If you get them into the deployment zone, you'll be able to possibly pop out an objective victory token for yourself. We don't know what the cost of R2-D2, but C3PO looks like it's 15 points. So yeah, really interesting stuff. And that's just those two guys, droids. So there's obviously more, but there's not that much more really. I won't go into details on absolutely everything here. I never actually checked the rule for Counterpart. I just presumed that you had to take them both. Let's just double check Counterpart isn't anything weird. I highly suspect it won't be. They have faithful companions or subservient minions, possibly an indication of something to come. The character is a Counterpart, and that minion is a Counterpart unit. Yep, can be fielded as its own unit. Cannot be fielded as its own unit. Yeah, so you've got to take them. There's obviously a long list of things that you can and can't do there. Yeah, you take it. Well, all the good stuff is on the unit card. Fine. Nothing unexpected there. If you want to read it, obviously you can download the rules yourself. So there is one really important bit here, I think, that I've not yet mentioned, and that is I'm gonna get Makashi mastery. This is Dooku, isn't it? Basically, this is almost certainly Dooku. I believe that is again a Star Wars reference. Do apologize for my ineptitude when it comes to Star Wars references, but this has some serious potential of being really strong. It obviously depends on how many Pierce you have, but we'll talk about that in a minute after I've explained what it is. So those who mastered the Makashi style have turned lightsaber dueling into a true art form. When a unit with this keyword performs a melee attack, it can reduce the Pierce X value of the weapon with which it is performing the attack. So imagine your Pierce 2, for example. If it does, you would become Pierce 1. If it does, the defender cannot use immune to Pierce or the impervious keyword. So that can really mess up Boba, Luke, Vader. Those kind of characters are immune to Pierce and rely on like melee sort of. Well, Boba doesn't rely on melee, but you know what I mean. Some of them are going to get into melee combat. Presumably this is going to be on Dooku. Yeah, he could really smash the face. Piercing like really good saves. Really nice. And I mean, it depends how much Pierce Dooku has. If he has 2, then it'll go down to Pierce 1, which is still strong. But if he has something like Pierce 3 and it goes down to Pierce 2, and you can imagine that on like Vader, it would just butcher him. Like, look what they've done to my boy. They just butcher him, wouldn't he? Or maybe that would be if he did it to Luke and then Vader was saying that. But anyway, spoilers. Yeah, like that is potentially, I think, really strong. We're gonna have to wait and see. Obviously, we don't know Dooku's cards or anything like that, but obviously Dooku was announced last night or whatever you want to call it. And the only other thing here that I really want to talk about, because I wasn't 100% sure what this one was. We do get confirmation of what scatter is and that kind of stuff. I'm pretty sure that's where it's like a displacement. It's more complicated than that, but yeah, it's a displacement of an attack. You attack them and then you can put them into cohesion. Scouting Impact was the one that really, I was like, who's this for? I think this might be for Rex. I think this might be Rex's ability. I'm not sure how much that fits in with the story. Like, is he an ARC trooper? I'm not 100% sure. Don't hate me, guys. But the Scouting Party X keyword allows especially skilled scouts to lead a small band of troopers into a forward position. After a unit with the Scouting Party X keyword uses the Scout keyword, it may choose up to X friendly trooper units at range 1 to 2 that have not performed a move using the Scout keyword. Each chosen unit then may perform a speed with speed equal to X, where X is the Scout X value of the unit with the Scouting Party rule. So complicatedly worded, but it's, I guess, basically what it means is, let's say you've got Scout 2 and you've got Scouting Party. Well, you do your Scout move first, Scout 2, and then if you've got Scouting Party 2, you could then move another 2 units with him. Or if you've got Scouting Party 1, you can move 1 unit. So it's essentially a way of getting your units up the board quickly using Scout at the start of the game. Yeah, cool. I think that might be Rex. Like, I think would that make the most sense on Rex? It sort of does to me. It's not going to be Dooku. I'd be very surprised if it's Dooku. So Rex would make the most sense for me. There's a couple of, like, if you want to check this, I don't want to go, I've actually done it quite quickly, but if you want to check all these, I think we pretty much know what most of these do. Nothing here really stands out of me as something we didn't have an idea of what they would do. I'm not 100% sure what versatile is, so we'll very quickly check that. That's one that I don't really recognize. I don't know, units. Oh, it's the one where you can perform, it's Grievous's weapon card, and you can perform attacks whilst you're in combat. Well, range attacks. All in all, interesting that they would do this now, considering the fact that Dooku and everybody only looks like they're coming out in 2020. They're only coming out in 4 months' time. I don't know. Unusual, I guess, but they like to be ahead of the game. It feels like to me that Dooku and everybody should have been out like October, and the game should have come out. The Clone Wars box should have come out in September, but R2-D2, C3PO, yes, they will be out sooner. They'll be out maybe November, December, with the operative Luke and Vader being the same kind of time. But yeah, some really interesting stuff there. I think Dooku looking potentially strong, very strong. C3PO and stuff like that. Well, we're going to need to see cost for R2-D2, but definitely like a cool, just a nice flavorful set of rules there. You're going to have them. Ignore me. I'm not trying to do it. Beep 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 impersonation. You're going to have them just sort of possibly meandering across the board trying to not get shot, so you can claim a secret mission of getting into your objective zone. Yeah, like that could be cool. And yeah, I think the whole rule set there are cool for sure. And the only thing that worries me is the release times. I think that's a bit like, I don't understand that, but everything is good and I'm excited about everything. One thing I've not mentioned, I didn't mention, I didn't hit the mic, didn't even see it last night, I was so tired, that the new vehicles for the Clone Wars have got what are they called, these things, you know, the little indicate notches. They've got them on the side as well, which suggests for the repulsor hovery ones that they'll be able to move, like they'll be able to strafe. Beep. That will be interesting. So we'll see. I didn't see anything about the rule set in there, but you know, do you even need an extra set of rules? Because I'm pretty sure the rule will just say put it in your notch. There we go. Yeah, so Legion rules out. Interesting. Some key things for C3PO, R2-D2, Dooku, and Rex probably, and very exciting, very flavorful, and I like that. That's what that's where I'm at. So like and subscribe. Have a beautiful day. I got my haircut. I'm looking swish. I'm looking dead spotty, but let's not talk about that. Have a beautiful day. Goodbye.